Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Spectrum, Every Age, Every Need. I am Sean Francis and I'm your co-host, and I'm joined by my cousin and partner in Thrive and fellow warrior, Maurice McDavid. Maurice, good to see you.
Good to be here.
And Susanna Peace Lavelle, warrior extraordinaire. Good to see you, Susanna.
Good to see you all.
We are especially, did I just say especially? I hate when people do
You
that.
did.
Yeah, okay. See, that's how free we flow. I just made up a word on the spot, but people knew what that was. So I'm going to be very pacific and say that I'm especially glad and excited about today's show because when we launched this show, we wanted to have guests that are obviously connected to the special needs community, but also include guests whose services, mission, or existence is not so obviously tied to the special needs community, but most definitely so. And our guests today are no exception. So welcome to another episode of Beyond the Spectrum. Okay, before we get right into it, I want to thank our community partners, Billy Footwear. They are makers of fine adaptive footwear for all. The founder of the company, Billy Footwear, in his not first year, but first week of college, had a catastrophic injury that left him paralyzed, and he had to learn how to do everything all over again for himself. And he was able to do so with the exception of putting shoes upon his feet. A prototype was created, and Billy Footwear was born. Over 1 million pairs of shoes have been sold since, and they have touched just as many, if not more, lives. If you click on the link in the show notes, you will get 10% off your final purchase. They're a great company with a great cause. And for those of you that are or know someone or love someone who is a male caregiver or father to someone with a disability or special needs, we encourage you to join us for our bi-weekly men's group known as The Den. It is created just to be a place that's a safe haven for men to express themselves, hopes, joys, fears, loss, um, anything that there is. Society doesn't exactly encourage men to do so. And if you're a caregiver, it's usually probably twice as difficult to go ahead and have a safe space to at least share your thoughts and at least raise your hand and say that you're unsure of something. So our guests today are two women trailblazers. And if you're looking at this on YouTube, you're going to see their face get uncomfortable because they're going to be like, we're not trailblazers. We're just trying to do our thing. But I think that what they're doing and what I think they're about to do is also an example of how it is immeasurable, the impact that we can have on other people when we just follow our heart and a little bit of an idea and a goal and a dream. They have founded a fantastic company by the name of Soulgrain, and we're going to find out where that came from and what they do also has the propensity to have a great impact on the special needs community because you're talking about starting a business where you're able to control your time, at least some of it, have freedom, and then the business itself is based on products that have great nutritional value as well. So, welcome to Beyond the Spectrum, Liza and Sylvia.
Thank
Hello,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
So, why don't you guys start by telling us a little bit about yourselves? I don't, because you can decide to start a business on, any given day. How did you come to the idea of starting a business based on green or food?
It's really messy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
It was just,
I can.
oh, you said the question again, please.
How did you guys come to the idea or the thought to start a business based on not just food, but grains in particular? Because that's pretty specific.
Sure. Well, I'm a pastry chef, and of course, Lisa is a nutritionist, and we've been friends for a long time. So, as industrious as we both are, we decided that we should start a business, and it only made sense for it to be food related. Um, but we wanted to do something that was, you know, not only delicious but nutritious. So, I bring the flavors, she brings the nutrition. So we got together and decided to do granola because that's kind of a no-brainer. Even though a lot of the granola that's out now is really not very healthy, so we wanted to make it healthy, like make it what the perception of granola really is as a healthy. So, and we also wanted to make it a little less boring because granola is kind of considered kind
Pretty
of boring,
standard. Yeah.
right? So we decided to take flavors from our cultural backgrounds, iconic soul food recipes, and apply it to granola to make it really healthy, but also to make it familiar for to some of the flavors that we're used to.
Okay. All right. That's interesting you say that because I never stopped to think about it. Almost anyone I know that eats granola puts it on top of something or mixes it with something else. It's very rare that somebody will just eat it by hand because it usually is very plain and very boring. You're correct.
Right.
So
And it's
how long?
full
Go,
of bad
go ahead,
things,
Lisa.
bad sugars, and so we try to really be intentional about the ingredients that we use. That's not very specific in your regular granola.
Yeah.
Granola is usually
Okay.
like, kind of like a dessert, and we try to
Yeah.
make it our good but also nutritious.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you find? How long ago was Soul Greens founded?
We started in 2021.
Yeah, we came up with the concept in 2020.
Yeah, during COVID actually, and then we started selling in 2022.
Okay, so it's a 2-year window from inception to product available for purchase.
About
Kind
about
of,
one, about
yeah.
1
About
year.
Okay. All
But
right.
there was a lot of talks before that for years.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't get her to like we started with a granola bar.
Right,
Or bar
Oh.
that really pan out.
right. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it how I really wanted it. Like I couldn't imagine trying to figure out how to scale this particular. Like I could do like 10 bars that look really nice, but beyond that, it was like nah. So we couldn't figure out how to really scale it and do it right. So it just really got put on the back burner. And then COVID hit, and it was like, okay, well, we got time now to figure this thing out. And we decided to deconstruct the bar and make it loose granola, or more like a snack granola.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotcha.
at the same time, before this, I was not a granola fan by any means. So when we started this, it was really fun for me to really feel a white space in the shop. Like there's not a lot of minority-owned granola brand.
hmm
Happy to fill
Wow.
that space.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, tell me, how did you go then from being an esthetician to being a nutritionist? Because I know, you know, we go back. Oh my gosh, we're talking about more
Hear
than
about
30 years now. But
Yeah.
so I know you well enough to know that if you don't dabble in things, if you do something, you're going to do it. And I know you're very politically minded. You care about the people around you in your community. But how did you go from work as an esthetician into nutrition?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but when we first met, you and your brother were the super healthy eaters, and I wanted McDonald's. No, I went.
I cannot
No, I
imagine
promise
you
you,
eating McDonald's.
I did.
She
Because
did. She did.
right, when I came to America, all
I'm
that
learning
food
something
was
new.
all that food was new to me. So I'm like, all I want is fast food. Anyway, so then you know how you start feeling when you eat bad food. So then, my daughter has a lot of issue. I think you know, Sean, used to
hmm
have a lot of mental health stuff, and so I kind of dabbled in nutrition and its effects on mental health.
hmm
I started going down that rabbit hole. I'm like, well, I started with a coaching certification actually, and then I was like, I need to know more. So I did my master's in nutrition and functional medicine. And I
Mhm.
love the functional medicine aspect because it's like treating the root cause versus the symptoms. So we
Mhm.
really deep into nutrition and its effects on health. But
Mhm.
when I saw the connection between mental health and nutrition, I really wanted to dig deeper and make myself feel better, my daughter feel better. And then also, Sean, you also know my mom just passed from Alzheimer's.
Yes,
So
I'm so
anything I
sorry.
can do to prevent, anything happening to my brain, I'm all for it. So it was just
Wow.
it started as a super interest, and then I just like might as well make it a job with this beautiful lady.
Well, two things I'm thinking. First of all, among those books on my shelf, I hope I don't butcher the title. There's one of them that's called "It's Your Brain on." I
Brain,
shouldn't have even brought it up because what is it? Your brain on?
brain, I
It's
don't.
your
So
it's your
many.
brain on something. But you introduced me to the book, and that's the reason why I ended up getting it. The other thing I wanted to say, which I think is interesting, so you're a fairly international person. So you're originally from France, and you came to the States as for college. And you mentioned, and I never thought of this before, how all the fast food was just new to you, and they talk about the things that are in it that are addictive. And coming from Europe initially, everything is fairly fresh, and especially France, not necessarily boring or of bad taste, but being exposed to fast food here, you know, I mean, what was that like? Then I take it that's how you kind of that became your thing, so to speak, that way.
It was shortly because then you start feeling like crap. So it was short lived, but I did enjoy myself. And then on top
Wow.
of that, I went to college in Alabama, right? So there was like not only fast food but soul food, which you know is lovely. That's why we started this actually to turn soul food into something that's still really tasty, but a little more healthy, a lot more healthy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then Sylvia, had you thought about entrepreneurship prior to you and Lisa coming together on this venture?
Well, I mean, I've always kind of done my thing in that way. Like, I've never been a 9 to 5 person. I started off as a hairstylist. I did that for decades. So I'm used to having my own schedule, doing my own thing, working as much or as little as I want to at any particular time. So I knew that, but this CPG is something else entirely. So um, I'm
What is
used to
CPG? I'm
uh,
sorry.
consumer packaged goods. So
Okay.
Where's
right,
now?
right. So making a product and developing it and selling it in the marketplace, that is something different. So we're constantly on a learning curve all
I'm
the time.
sure.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Now, when you first went to market, were you guys still kind of making it yourself, or what was the bridge like between that and a co-packer?
Well, we
Okay.
have, it's been ups and downs. So we went through the
The
whole.
line isn't straight. Okay. We
Gotcha.
up, down, around the corner, around the bend. So we
Yeah.
started off making it ourselves and with a cottage food license, and then we moved into a commercial kitchen, and we were making it there, and that was when we were able to get into stores, right? So at one point we did have a co-packer because we got a purchase order for it started off with 400 stores and then 900 stores. So we got
Fantastic.
Packer to do that. But it was kind of a little bit of a struggle in that it's kind of hard. It's like sending your baby off to the school, letting
Mm.
you know what I mean. So it was nobody could do it, right? So we didn't particularly like the way it was done. Not that they did a bad job, but if for it to be a snacking granola, the chunks have to be a certain size. They weren't the
Right.
same size, and so we brought the production back. You know, have you ever heard of a company and it gets big and it feels like it's not the same anymore, and you're like, they ain't no good anymore. We
Yeah.
didn't want to go down that road, so we brought the
Yeah.
production back home. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're
Expansion can mean loss.
Mhm.
No, say that again, Lisa.
I say we're back at square one, but with a lot more wisdom. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
now we're trying to figure out what's the next step to scale, because obviously the two of us is not scalable.
Right. So we're
Mm.
trying to figure out something in between a co-packer and us making it ourselves.
Got you.
Where are you two located?
We're in
So-
Minnesota.
Twin
You're in
Cities.
Minnesota. Okay. One of my sisters lives in Minnesota. She is in she's in Falcon Heights area of St. Paul.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She, like 2 months ago, she was like, I can't breathe because I just took the trash out because it was like -20
Oh,
degrees.
Yeah.
Seriously, she's like, I
Mhm.
cannot breathe. And right now in Los Angeles, I mean, it's like 85, it's 85 degrees.
Yeah.
No, I was
Yeah.
asking where you're located because I'm just curious, like, did you start off doing any sort of like farmers markets? I am like, you're gonna learn about me in 5 seconds, which is I am obsessed with food. Like every day, all I do is think about food. My daughter has severe food allergies. Okay. And I absolutely agree with you, Lisa. Like, I think all of us can be on the same page here, and that absolutely food is medicine. And
Mhm.
it affects, like, there are a lot of talks about particular sorry, that was a Sean word, particularly um uh uh like diet, you know recommendations for kiddos on the spectrum. And often there is this idea of adhering to like sort of a gluten-free, dairy-free diet. Now, in the case of my daughter, whose name is Arizona, by the way, she's now 19 years old, but when she was younger, I mean, she had like 7 pages of printouts of all of the things that she was allergic to. Her body just could not process. So I had to learn how to be creative from like jump. And so I just appreciate so much when there is food that is being made with intention, like from you too, like made with intention, made with love. Like I feel like we know every single ingredient that is going into that food. That I'm, my family has always made just homemade granola, but without nuts because my daughter cannot have nuts. But I just was wondering, like, you had it in stores, you don't have it in stores now because you're sort of starting back
no,
up.
we still have it. We still have
You
it.
do. Okay. So
Yeah. It's the
can we
just
find it here?
Not
No.
but we have
Yeah.
we have them.
Got it. Okay.
So you're in stores, but just in what? Just in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area?
mostly.
Mostly, it's tough because we have a distributor that kind of sends our stuff off different like the specialty shops. So we don't
Mhm.
really know where we are. I know we're in Chicago,
Yeah.
New York soon.
Yep.
There's a little
And
coffee shop in
is there
Colorado. Yeah, it's
is it available at your website for
Yes.
direct purchase?
On our
Okay,
website
good.
and on Amazon.
Oh, okay, good. So we're gonna make sure that we share that with the audience as well and put that
I'm
up.
sorry. Can I just hear the brand? Because I'd like
Yeah.
to be able to kind of just stick that in my head. What's the name of your brand?
Soulgrain.
Oh, that's right.
Soulgrain.
Yeah, well, that's getting old. I need some good food because my memory just went out the window. Okay, Soul Grain. There you go. Soul Grain.
I was gonna say,
Soulgrain.
wait a
There
minute.
you go.
Not
Gotcha.
glow.
Okay, I
not
won't forget it
glow,
now.
Rain. Yes.
Yeah.
But Susanna, we have 2 flavors that are nut free and fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me. I mean, this is really, I can't even tell you. I get so excited when there is food that I don't have to prepare myself,
Mm.
that my daughter is able to eat, that's not a processed food. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So and a lot of, as Sean was saying, like I'm also a coach for disability families, and I do a lot of workshops and support groups, and I co-host another podcast called Brave Together. And we often are talking a lot about food, diet, nutrition, and just the correlation of how everything just affects behavior, for sure, mental health. I don't know about you, Maurice and Sean, but my daughter Arizona, it's very common for kiddos on the spectrum to also have generalized anxiety, depression episodes. It's just, everything is just, so jumbled up. And anyway, it's like, if anything can make my life a little bit easier, I am all for it, because I'm exhausted, and also, I just I love sharing so many resources to the other families around, because everyone is like in this community, which is so beautiful, even though none of us asked to be here, right? It's such a beautiful community, because if we hear of something that is so great for our family, then we just want to spread the word. We just want to share it. We want to, like, shout it from the mountaintops. So everything
Definitely.
that you both have been talking about thus far, I mean, all I hear is like the intentionality around your brand and your business. And I just feel like, I feel so grateful, because you've had these experiences where you've also been able to sort of glean the benefits of the healthy living, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And for
You
us,
know,
what's important
bravo.
is, no, go ahead, Maurice. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
honestly, the thing that kind of jumps out for me is I always want to be cognizant of who the listeners are. There might be people who are new to a diagnosis and they don't really understand the gut brain connection.
Yeah.
And so it is a critical thing to understand as a family that's impacted by autism, because that gut brain connection is real. I know for my son, when he was very young, if he got a hold of gluten, it was like he got drunk, and the behaviors just spiraled out of control. And so we spent the sad part is I have four other kids and they don't like gluten-free food. So it made life really hard sometimes, because you make a concession for them, and then my youngest boy would find it, and next thing you know, he was spitting out. So for families who are new to an autism diagnosis, really important to get some understanding about the connection between the gut and the brain. And a lot of children with autism can't process those foods properly, and it's toxic to their bodies, or it's intoxicating to their bodies. So just want to be mindful. You never know who's listening to these things. So.
Mm.
Okay.
Most
All our
definitely.
gluten free.
Everything's gluten free. And the other thing that you mentioned, we talk about the sensitivity that our children may have, especially when it comes to autism. But when you look at caregiving altogether, especially for the parent who is a single parent, you also have to look at your food as fuel in addition to what you like, because we talk about, I think with the intention to find the rainbow and the light in our situations, we'll say very namaste-ish type things like, God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle, and I was chosen because so and so, and it is a beautiful thing. And those parts are true. Many things can be true at the same time, because along with those things being true is the fact that caregiving is some hard ass work. It just
Mm.
really is. And if you're a single parent, depending on the disability and what the behavior challenges might be, you know, you need some food that's going to
Yes.
fortify you and not, not only just give you energy and make you feel good, but play a role in hopefully keeping your hair longer too.
Right, for sure. That was definitely our intention to create something that's functional as well as tasty, because usually things that are very healthy or claim themselves to be healthy, they sacrifice on taste, and we definitely didn't want to do that. So, if anything, we really concentrate on taste and then make sure it was healthy at the same time.
Yeah.
Right, right.
You know what's so interesting? Just today, Arizona and I were out at the market. And I like to intentionally go through the market, just very, so we're practicing independent living skills. And so we were cutting through, we normally shop around, the perimeter of the market, right? So the produce and the protein and stuff like that. But we had to cut through because I was trying to find eggs. She's allergic to eggs, but I am not. So I was trying to find some eggs, and we were walking down the aisle, and she's like, Mama, it smells so sweet in this aisle. And I was like, I know, it smells like a bakery. It was the cereal aisle.
Mm.
Okay. So if you look at the ingredients in a box of cereal, and I would even offer packaged granola as well, like how much sugar there is,
Yeah.
right? Like kiddos are eating like Fruit Loops and all of it. What is that? That's just like that's like hyping somebody up to give them a crash,
Right.
in their
Exactly.
10 a.m. that day, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
it was really interesting. That literally just happened this morning, and I was like, yeah, cereal should not be smelling like a bakery. Seriously.
And obviously, granola, ours is probably one of the healthiest you're gonna find. But we did try to focus on the harm reduction approach. Like instead of using sugar, we're using maple syrup, just a little bit of it. Instead of we put amaranth in there, which is a lot of protein, and so we try to definitely take a harm reduction approach.
Lisa, did you say amaranth?
Yeah,
Amaranth.
Say it again. Sorry.
popped amaranth.
Popped amaranth. I've never even heard of that. What is that?
It's an ancient grain, native to Mexico. Just think of quinoa. It's kind of like quinoa,
It
but
looks like
it's
quinoa.
pop. It looks like quinoa, but it's popped. So it kind of has like
He's taking
a
notes.
I
mini.
am.
Well, he needs to spell it. You got to spell it. Is it the
That was
A?
my next question.
It's AMARANTH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
RAPH.
No,
in
NTH.
in
Amaranth.
TH.
Amaranth. Oh, amaranth. Interesting.
Some people say amaranth. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the things that amazes me is that you'll hear about a hot new thing, an herb, a seasoning, or something that can't be. It might be hot, but it can't be new because it's as old as the earth. And you're like, how have I not heard of that? And I think I'm fairly worldly, but every time I turn around and I hear of something that I've never heard of before, it just kind of blows me away. It's one of the things that keeps you alive, not live, not just one of the things that keeps you living, not just alive, is just learning something new. And there's always so much to learn about foods, especially here in this country, in America, where we're just, I don't know, my patriotism will come into question if I just speak truth. I just feel like even our companies, our manufacturers who have, a box of their product here, a box of the product in the UK here, and the US version, the ingredients, it's actually a bibliography, and then the UK one is like,
Yeah.
if it,
5 little
it
ingredients. 5
yeah,
real.
and if you right, and there's some. And I guess we could talk a little bit about that, not to be political, but I'm just wondering about how hopeful you are with regard to the way we manufacture food here. Because my thought is, I always feel like if you don't compromise on taste, because there's certain, I can't think of one now. I think it was Subway. At one point, there was an influencer who talked about the fact that one of the ingredients in Subway's bread was the same that is in a yoga mat. And she made an announcement that she got them to change it. And right after she did that, their commercials didn't say it directly, but it said that they had made these improvements. And every now and then you'll see a company that makes a food product and it'll say, we've improved so and so, we listened to you. And I've always thought, if many of the food manufacturers took the same approach, where they just said, and maybe if they don't want to, if they just want to save face, they could just say doesn't have this, doesn't have that, and just do that. I think they would still make their money in volume. I don't know. What do you guys? What is with everyone here? What are your thoughts or hopes with regard to any hopefulness of us being able to have some kind of change or improvement like that in this country, the way food is produced?
I think people are paying more attention now than they have been in a while. So I think changes will start to be made as people start to learn more about the garbage that's in a lot of the food here and
Mhm.
say something about it. Because I think that a lot of these changes crept up on us, because I know the food from the 70s, the 80s is different from the food now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's changed without our knowledge. And so now
Yes.
that people are becoming more aware of it and becoming aware of the connection between these bad ingredients and the poor quality of life, I think things are going to start to change.
I mean, we
hoping
got a
so.
demand. We got a demand that change. So
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true too. And people forget how much power we have. There's the illusion of power, and then there's the illusion of the lack of it. And I think that most of us collectively as a community, as a country, forget how much we actually have. We'll be quick to get on social media and complain and, bicker and moan about something, but not actually do something. And it's interesting because my wife and daughters, about maybe 2 years ago, went on a cruise, and it wasn't like the prime time of the year. It was during, like, I think, like late fall or something like that. But it was primarily European. They went to Italy. Well, they went to a bunch of places. Anyway, point was that the younger of my wife's daughters from her previous marriage, she is very sensitive to gluten, and I don't know if she just didn't think about it or what, but she threw caution to the wind and just ate bread as one normally would over there, and had, not only did she not have any problem, but that was the first of many instances that I heard of people having that experience where they eat bread abroad, and there's no adverse reaction that they usually get with gluten at all.
not grown the same way, and they use all those chemicals here. What's that big one? Like glyphosate, whatever. Like it's not grown the same there, so you're not gonna get that same reaction.
This kind of jumps to the monster political thing. Is America's been about money, and chemicals help them to bulk up the product at a much cheaper cost and sell it to us, whether it's healthy for us or whether it's nutritious for us or not. And I think a lot of those things are coming to head right now politically in our country. But I wanted to ask you guys, when you kind of expanded to the 400 and the 900 stores, were you pressured by, like, it'd be cheaper and faster if we did this or this to your granola to get it to market, or to make the creating it, getting it out to market faster? Did you experience any of those pressures or those suggestions from your manufacturer? Or did you guys face any of that yourself as a company?
Yeah, we did.
No, yeah, we did. I mean, she can talk about the ingredients more because she's a chef, but we definitely did. Like, because our granola it's not cheap. We use ingredients that are not cheap. We still do it in small batches, so we can't have this huge volume. Yeah, definitely pressure. So that's what scares me a little bit. Like, where do we go from here without losing integrity? Because that's not
right. Exactly. Like, we were encouraged to change this or tweak that in order to make it a certain way. But we are not compromising on that at all. When I made the granola, I didn't make it, this may have been a mistake, but I didn't make it with cost in mind. I just made it with the ingredients that I wanted in it. Like, we have organic vanilla bean paste. The amaranth is not cheap. We use gluten-free oats, obviously, which are a little bit more expensive than the regular gluten oats. And our product, our fruit powders are very expensive, but they're 100% of the fruit. Like, somebody tried the banana, was gonna try the banana pudding granola, but they were like, nah, I don't really like banana flavor. It usually tastes artificial. I was like, ours is not gonna taste artificial, because ours has like 100% freeze-dried banana powder in it. There's no additives. There's nothing artificial in our granola at all. So it literally tastes like you're scooping and some banana pudding, from grandma's house. Because that's
hungry.
Oh, crispy. Oh, crispy.
I'm sitting there listening to you about the gnaw or this. I'm like,
with vanilla bean paste. I mean, we are making. I joke, and I say that we're like the Gucci of granola, but I mean that's real, because we're not using cheap ingredients at all. So
hopefully we can keep that.
We're going to. We're either going to keep it or we're going to go out of business, because we are not going to lower the quality of our ingredients.
Yeah,
it's not.
Well,
that's fantastic.
Kudos to you guys. Please don't. I'd hate to see you go out of business.
We're not.
Yeah.
It's do or die. You know what I'm saying? And we're
Right.
not gonna die, so we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Well, I love your commitment to quality. And I'm glad you're on here. Hopefully that makes a difference, for the bottom line. I know I'll be looking. So, I'm glad you guys are here today for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't eat bad food. Period. It's gonna be good.
That's
it's gonna
right.
taste good and it's gonna be good because I
That's
love
right.
myself enough
Mm-hmm.
to eat good food.
Oh, cool.
That's fantastic.
And I want that for people. Like, food for me is my love language. You know what I mean?
Same.
Food I make,
Mhm.
my love for you.
Same.
So it just is what it is.
And that's why I wanted to partner with Sylvia, because I know how she respects the food and the feelings it gives people. And I knew the ingredients I wanted, but I know she could put it together in a beautiful way that really will touch people.
Mm.
You know what I
I
love
love to
about
eat
it?
good food. I eat food with love. I don't make it, but I eat it with love.
You know what I like about it? I love the packaging, and I didn't catch the '70s connection with the Soulgrain until you guys said it earlier. And I'm looking at it, and I love it. And as soon as I stop sharing, so that those on the that are looking at YouTube will see. As soon as I stop sharing your website, I'm about to enter my email address in there, and I want to get me some Soulgrain.
Do it.
I love what I see. I'm not playing.
And
You caught me at a very vulnerable moment because I am hungry.
if you order our granola, you can know that our hands touched it within the last month.
Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
Not gonna be granola
Amazing.
That's huge.
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. And then you know what you should do is, as that changes and you expand, it might not be your hands, but that should be part of your mantra or marketing, which is, if you're buying our product, you can be certain that some caring, clean, loving hands touched it in the last week.
Yes. That's right.
Serious, because that's a big deal, because we began, I think, when did we start? Sometime after COVID, growing a couple things here and there. And there's something to be said for either growing food that you've eaten, eating food that you've grown, right? Backwards. Or, just knowing what's in something when you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not careful, there's some of the things on social media I was telling somebody the other day, if you're not careful, some of the information that's on social media will turn you right into a watertarian. I don't even know if that's a real word, but that's my word for somebody that just consumes nothing but water, and then they'll tell you that's not safe.
Yeah.
So, and then some of the people that are, and I'm glad you mentioned your credentials, not just on paper, but in terms of time, because coming from the Caribbean, people are very big on title and education and everything, and I think that can be overstated also. But what happens is there's a lot of people out there that are influencers and will tell you that this food, and it'll be something that you've known for years to be healthy, and rather than just giving you a warning, they'll kind of like freak you out. Eat this, and something will grow inside you, and you'll die. And just like, hold on a minute, man. Damn.
Yeah, for sure.
At one extreme or the other. So
yeah, the danger of social media, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Speaking of which, do you all have a social media presence as well? I'm assuming.
We
That we do, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it what is it? What's the handle?
It's at Soulgrain _LLC.
Gotcha. Okay.
Good. We want to make sure we have as many people know about it.
Seriously.
So,
seriously.
In terms of trying to figure out what's next, I suspect that what you're trying to figure out next is your how, or is it where, or is it both?
Where and then how.
Yeah.
I think so then we can scale, because the demand is definitely there. We just don't have the capacity to produce
in the way.
Oh, that's a great problem. So you have a demand that just can't be met right now.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Have you guys thought of anything like, I know people that have been on there and they said it's not as fun as it may seem on the outside, but have you thought of pitching like on Shark Tank or anything like that?
We're not quite ready for that, because when I look at Shark Tank and they talk at those numbers that they pull in for revenue, we're not quite there. I don't want to get
because they want sales. Yeah, they'll say you have an idea, not a business. Yeah,
right. And
other than that, you'd be open to it.
I mean, we pitch other places, just not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to sew up some buttons first before we get on.
But it's a catch-22 because we can't produce as much as is needed.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't grow, so it's like, I don't know. We kind of like stuck right now, but
You're kind of in between. Yeah, because that show is not only enough.
Operating
Sorry.
to work out. Yeah.
right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the thing about that show is once you go on there, even if you don't get a deal, your exposure is as tremendous as it can get. And so, because I've looked up and I think maybe even made a couple purchases of people that are on there, they pitch a product and I'm sitting there with the TV with my phone. I'm like, ooh, what is that? And I'll just like look it up and I like that. And I've forgotten about whether or not they get a deal because I like the product. And if I like the people,
yeah,
you know, and people would love you guys. So of course I'm biased, but you know, I just think that clinical intervention is needed if someone feels otherwise. So I just think that, I just think people would fall in love with you. And so here's what I'm going to do too. When I get mine, because this is created to bring awareness and shine a light where there's darkness in more ways than nine. So when I get mine, I'm going to post and come back with a report and tell everybody about it. And that banana bread might be the
banana pudding.
Right.
Yeah.
Banana pudding. Okay.
Yeah. Just think of being at your grandma's house on a holiday and getting some banana pudding or some sweet potato casserole. Or
that one is seasonal, but yeah.
Yeah. So you know, we're here in Minnesota, and you know it's all about purple here.
There you go.
This is our purple grain, our purple sweet potato casserole flavor, and it is
now I'm getting hungry.
But the season is now. So
the season is now.
Yeah. You see that? Look at that. Look at that.
And just so you know,
I'm not a hairy guy, but the little bit that I got standing right up. Look at that. Man.
Our purple grain has, well, all of our granolas have a playlist and you can access it right here. And this one, Soulgrain, Soul Train, music that we
purple grain,
the connection between food and music. So, you know, this one had to have a Prince playlist.
Yeah.
Use real sweet potato, like real purple sweet potatoes.
Wow.
Which are good for you because
antioxidant, fiber, all the great things.
That's right. Here.
Good health, brain health.
I love that.
Yeah, she mentioned the playlist. All our flavor have a playlist. So it's a whole movement. It's music, fun, culture. Yeah. That's the whole brand.
You know what I'm going to say too? Don't be afraid to put yourselves out there. Okay. And I say this from some experience as human beings. You know, some of us need custom made hats because our head is really big, right? But I think that's a little exceptional. I think for most people do a better job at underselling themselves than anything else. And I will tell you, when it comes to my work in financial services, especially the mission-driven portion that serves special needs families like my own, and this podcast, you can really sell yourself short. And I'm not saying you lack confidence, but you guys aren't loud and out there, so to speak. So you might not be thinking about getting out there, but along with the ingredients and the lack thereof and the idea and your mission, the other thing that sets your brand apart is the two of you. Mm-hmm. And so, and I know that you have social media presences, but it's not like you're not trying to be influencers or anything like that.
We hate it. We really hate it. We just have a presence.
I know.
We're very active, and we should be. Yeah.
And you know what? You guys have something to say.
What'd you say?
I said you guys have something to say that nobody else for your brand can say. Right. You know what I mean? So I would think about some of that because there's enough. I mean, some people are gonna be like, "Ooh, who's that?" And then they get past that and they're like, "Well, just wait a minute. They're doing what?" And those two things together
Mm.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, we got to get out there. For sure.
Yeah, we're shy.
I don't know about shy. We just don't like.
I know though, but
I think you're muted, Susanna.
Susanna, I think you're muted.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm sitting here shouting. I'm like, how is nobody listening to me? I have something important to say. No, I was saying
you need to be seen and heard. We didn't mean to do the opposite. Sorry.
no.
You know what happened.
But I was just gonna say, it's not about being shy and not be. It's that you've been busy in the kitchen. It's like all of this takes so much time. Like I don't think people can really appreciate and understand what true, entrepreneurship looks like, especially when you have a product, a tangible product for sale that has a shelf life, right? So it's
Mhm.
not even that, okay, I'm going to build this prototype and then a robot's going to go out there and make sure that this prototype is right? It's this lovingly, which is why I think it's so spectacular. Do you know what I mean? Like Oprah would love this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just in terms of your story, in terms of minority owned. Hello.
Yeah, we're gonna get in touch with Oprah.
Yeah, let's just call her. Let's just call. Can we add her to the Zoom right now?
Well, we were on the Today Show twice.
Yeah.
So we are getting the accolades, and we did win the Better Home and Garden Food Award for Purple Grain.
I'm telling you, I am telling you, like my girlfriend group, I have 15 girlfriends coming over tomorrow. We have a holiday here. And we're everybody's bringing, we all bring like homemade, everyone brings a homemade dish, 2 or 3. But to have that, like if I had that granola, it's a brunch, right? It would have been like perfection. I'm telling everybody about it. I'm texting everybody right now.
We're a growing entity ourselves, right? But we're not going to wait till we're as well known as we hope to be to spread good news. Okay, so good news is very very needed and underappreciated. So as Susanna said, something that you've created that gives you options in terms of your time, adds value to the customer and the community, and is minority owned twofold, not just people of color, but women as well.
Women.
That's see, there it goes again. See?
And but when you started talking about purple, let me just tell you what else is happening right now with regard to purple, because I'm in my 50s. My girlfriend, we're all around the same age. So we're in this menopausal sitch. Maurice and Sean, you might just be adjacent to
menopause adjacent.
Menopause adjacent.
Right.
But literally, we're on this tribe text like multiple times a day, just talking about the different things that we need to be paying attention to as women of color. And one of the things that we just started learning about was which is how important purple foods are to us right now.
Yes.
So we have like the purple sweet yams, eggplant, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, legit purple. We're looking for the color to help. And I love knowing that now that it's an antioxidant, because I just learned that from Liza. I didn't know. Right?
I grew purple basil once. Good stuff.
Purple what?
Basil.
Oh.
Yes, delicious. Grows huge.
Amazing.
Like that too.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
good stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, I love it.
Right
I'm
now,
obsessed.
we're gonna market it differently than
Yeah. Maurice, you were going to say something about menopause.
I was going to say, you guys are perfect in your roles, Liza and Sylvia, because Sylvia, you light up when you're talking about flavor, because you go, sweet potato pie and casserole, and Liza, when you're talking about the ingredients, you're lighting up. So it's like, the purity and the quality of those ingredients. So you guys are a perfect tag team. I was like, flavor over here, Sylvia.
Oh.
You guys are a great match, because you both light up when you talk about your side of the house. It's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're still having fun, so we're gonna keep
we have a good time.
We do have a good time
in
in the kitchen.
We do. We have a good time. The friendship has transcended to the kitchen to the food, and you know what I
Mhm.
mean. It's all fun. It's all love. I mean, not to say we haven't had our trials and tribulations,
Oh,
but we
absolutely.
Sure.
fun even in the trials and the
Right.
tribulations.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of that, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face as a business? And what would you say is the biggest success? And it doesn't have to be monetary.
Well, the challenge is definitely monetary. It's
That's
lack
the
of
challenge.
capital. I think that's the number one issue for small businesses. That's
Hmm.
been the biggest challenge so far, and we've been bootstrapping from the beginning.
Mhm.
Hmm.
A couple of grants. We wanted a pitch competition, so piecing all that together. But yeah, definitely lack of capital, especially for women-owned and minority-owned businesses.
When
Mhm.
it comes to that, have you had people approach you that may want to give an infusion of capital, but they the other things don't line up? Because I know you don't want to be in business with just anybody.
Yeah, we haven't had to make that decision yet. Like,
Mhm.
no one has come and said, "Hey, we'll give you $100,000 or whatever the amount would be." Um,
Hmm.
but we're also really leery of that too, because we don't want
Sure.
coming in to say, "Hey, well, you need to change this or this or that."
Right.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing is we make our decisions, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
we're open to no one. You know what I mean? So we're
Exactly. Yeah.
doing it exactly the way we want to do it. But to answer your question about the biggest hurdle, and then the biggest thing that's good about the business is I love it when someone tastes the granola and they're not really enthusiastic when they're hearing about the granola, but they taste it and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
because a lot of people who eat
Mhm.
our granola don't like granola at all.
I
Mhm.
love granola.
Oh.
I made a believer out of her, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
a lot of people are like, I don't want to try that. And then they try it, they're like, oh, wait, that is really good. And, a lot of people, a lot of our repeat customers are people who never like granola. So
Mhm.
that gives me so
Yeah.
much satisfaction when
Mhm.
somebody tries it, eats it, and was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right to be leery because you don't want to end up like Harlan Sanders, otherwise known as a Colonel. You know what happened to Colonel Sanders, don't
Oh.
Oh, what
I
you?
don't.
he changed
They,
his herbs and spices. Somebody had him change
no,
his.
changes. If herbs and spices by herbs and spices you mean his face, yes, they literally took his chicken. What happened is when he passed away, unless he got it back, he did not own his likeness.
Mhm.
Oh, I think I did hear about that.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. They were like, yeah, we're gonna hook up your chicken. Why don't you just what's that over there? Next thing you know, he didn't even own his face, and to this day, he's
Wow.
still the face of the brand,
Mhm.
right?
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah, we don't
you
know.
know,
We don't want that.
yeah,
No, we do want to go. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be we're gonna find a
yeah.
way to do it without.
That's happened to the best of them. That happened to Walt Disney too. I gotta be careful. Everybody knows that I'm like Captain Tangent. I'm sorry, but I think it's related.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Walt Susanna, don't agree so quick.
I
Um, Walt
I'll
Disney.
agree. He is Captain
I,
Tangent.
I am. I am the mayor of the village known as Tangent. But I think it's connected though. Walt Disney created this character named Oswald the Rabbit, and he wrote for a production house in New York, and he created Oswald for them. And he found out on some business trip, when he came back, that Oswald wasn't his,
Mhm.
and that's how he knew to retain ownership of Mickey.
Mm.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh.
he got shafted, or as they say in the hood, he got gaffled for his rabbit.
Yeah, we can't do that, but we'll see.
No.
Mhm.
No, that's
Oh.
good. But we think everybody needs to know, about this, and I think we need to have you guys come back as a follow up as things progress because
Yeah.
we want to see it grow. That's the reason why this whole thing was created, not to just sit and have a chat, and have impact. Just as
Yeah.
Sylvia was talking about, in terms of somebody tasting it and like, oh,
Mhm.
having an impact. We had one of the gentlemen that is a member of our support group. He was a guest on the show, and he's a single dad to a son on the spectrum. And when he was on our previous show, they had a home and everything, but he had been homeless at a time, and it was on the local news in Houston. And we shared the clip when he was on the show, and in the men's group, he had missed a couple of the Zoom calls and said that he was moving. He got into a place that was even nicer and more comfortable than the one he had before. But when he got the place, the guy wanted a down payment that was or a deposit that was significantly high, and I think he told the guy that he didn't think that was something he could do, but he thanked him for his time. And then the guy called him the next day and said, you don't have to worry about the deposit. And he either reduced it or eliminated it. He was like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah, I saw your story. And he's like, oh, you saw my story on the local news. He said, no, you were on some podcast with two dads that had kids with autism. And I saw that, and it just really touched me.
Mm.
Wow. I was like, see, there you go again. See? Getting older is a superpower, man. You're just so connected to like any and everything. It takes the slightest thing to charge you. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the kind of impact that we want to have on people. So we want to have you back, and along the way have stories of the growth of Soulgrain. As a matter of fact, I got an idea or two that we'll share off camera, and we don't want to wait till our influence is where we want it to be to make an effort to influence good things and good stories. And so, and Liza, you recall me telling you how fast this time was going to go by, right?
What time is it?
It's time.
It's over.
That did really.
2 minutes away from closing. 2 minutes away from last call.
Hey, well, thank you guys so much. That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
To meet you guys, really.
Seriously.
Best wishes. Looking to support you directly, not just with words, but
Yes.
directly. So I'm so
Thank
glad you guys were on the show.
When I get off, I'm putting my order in.
And when you go on our website, check out all our playlists because they're all a lot of fun.
That
Each one had like the Cocoa Mango's got a dance hall.
The what?
Cocoa Mango.
Cocoa Mango.
Flavor.
Yeah.
Coconut and mango?
Yes, it's delicious. It's my favorite.
Girl.
I mean, I'm
Caribbean, you are
looking at.
speaking his language.
Sponge people.
Cocoa Mango.
Wow.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Wow.
Sylvia, did Lisa tell you that I'm from the Virgin Islands?
So it's
yes. Where the Virgin Islands? Which one?
Well, my dad is from St. Thomas, where I was raised. So between St. Thomas and St. Croix. My mom is from St. Croix, but primarily St. Thomas. Yeah.
Okay, I got some people in St. Thomas. You know any Robinsons? Fletcher Robinson and his peoples.
Fletcher Robinson was related to you?
That's my uncle. R.I.P.
Okay, let me tell you
See?
guys. Fletcher Robinson's brother was Max Robinson, who was a groundbreaking newscaster on ABC News. And Fletcher was and I mean the dermatologist like on St. Thomas. Like any and everybody went to see him.
Here's my ear.
What?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
The world is a small
Black
place.
girl, I'll tell you.
Seriously.
and the 10 years that I spent living in Minneapolis, I'll tell you, I've been living in LA. I came back to LA in 96, moved back from Minneapolis. First came to LA in 81. And there's the people and the places that make you, both literally and figuratively. So between St. Thomas, St. Croix, Minneapolis, and Los Angeles, I got like deep roots throughout all of those places because they've made such a fantastic impact on my life.
Beautiful.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm still trying to process that. You know what? But I'm not surprised though. Stuff like that happens all the time. That's great. And you know what happens? Good people know and lead you to good people. That's what happens.
Yes, truth.
Yeah. And on that note, I want to thank everybody within the sound of my voice for joining us. Like I said, we're going to have you guys back. Sylvia and Lisa, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Maurice, Susanna, so honored to be able to do this with you guys. And again, if you check the show notes, you will find a link where you can get 10% off your final purchase with Billy Footwear. And you will also find a link for your free registration for our men's group known as the Den. Just remember that questions are more powerful than statements. Let's try and be a little bit more childlike, less childish. Everybody needs to be seen, needs to be heard, needs to know that they matter and that they're loved. We'll see you next time. And if you're watching this, we love you.